The Lost Colony of Roanoke. Theory number 1 by Neev Makin, traveled to Croatoan. What is this theory? This is theory number 1. This theory is if the colonists traveled to Croatoan and settled with the Croatoan tribe, or settled inland but still with the Croatoan tribe. The Croatoan might have protected the colonists from other tribes because the Native Americans had the advantage because of their faster shooting and more skill with the bow and arrows. But the muskets or any of the other guns that the colonists might have brought from England and arrows might make a better match. This could be true because, according to the CSI packet, European artifacts were found on Croatoan Island / Hatteras Island. The artifacts found were lead bullets, a ring from the Croatoan tribe, metal pots and pans, and brass buttons too. Probably some of the weaker colonists moved 50 miles inland, with most of the colony traveling 50 miles south to Croatoan Island, and the stronger colonists stayed with Manteo, the leader of the Croatoan tribe, to train on Croatoan with the rest of the tribe inland with the colonists. What evidence made me choose this theory instead of other theories? I chose this theory because it was most reasonable. It shows that the colonists had adapted after their settlements with the Croatoan. The evidence that I chose was that the Croatoan tribe must have come to protect the weakest by Manteo plus a few others, the leader of the Croatoan tribe, and send them inland. The rest of the tribe must have trained most of the stronger colonists. The colonists must have listened to John White and used that plan just in different ways. The other evidence I had was John Bernstein, the host of Digging for the Truth, had taken a DNA test on the Payne family, whose relative might be one of the colonists named Henry Payne. Dr. Brian Sykes had taken this test and made the final results. The results have 3 different people involved: Chris Payne, Michael Payne, James Payne, Donald Payne, and of course, Henry Payne. The weird thing was that with the test, that Michael Payne and James Payne matched DNA, with Michael's relative being 300 years old and James's relative being about 800 years old. In between that is 500 years, which might be the one generation of Henry Payne and the colonists. But the results of the test were different for Donald and Chris's Payne's from Michael's and James. The name matches for both, but not for the other two. This almost proves that the Payne generation has still moved on for the next centuries. So probably the rest of the colonists' families and next generations of all of the families must still be living. What were the other theories? There were many other theories, but the first 6 were very simple. 1. The colonists had traveled to Croatoan or Hatteras Island. That is the one I chose. 2. They were killed by British or the Spanish, which is pretty hard to prove. 3. They tried to sail back to England, but they died in the middle of the journey, so to that sea, which is also very hard to prove. 4. Killed by Native Americans. Now, this isn't the one I chose, but it's still pretty easy to prove because Powhatan claims that he had killed the Roanoke tribe. 5. Died from disease. Now, there might have been a disease going on. Nobody really knows, but this one is still very hard to prove. And number 6, which is probably the one that's impossible to prove, that there was a huge storm and they died from that, or something happened to them from that storm that they're not living. Bibliography. Editing source, Active Presenter version 7. Evidence sources. 1. A YouTube video named The Roanoke Documentary. 2. NationalGeographic.com. And 3. The CSI packet. And here's a link of where you can look at the CSI packet, but online. And this was posted on YouTube, made and edited by Neev Makin.